Okay, here we are. Should be live now. Just going to give it a few minutes like usual to see if that number changes. And if anybody can see me or hear me, of course, mention in the chat. So it says I've been live now for about a minute. So, see what that does. See if that number changes at some point. Usually doesn't update right away, obviously, but we'll just hang out and wait. I just realized I'm not sure if I have... Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it right now. I don't think I changed my status in Discord, but oh well, that's fine. Can't tell if there's anybody actually on here. Nope, nobody yet. Might just be delayed, of course, like usual, though. So I'm not going to be too concerned quite yet. Hey Zed, welcome. Good to see you. You actually were the first person to join, so you are correct. Alright, that of course is going to take a minute, but I'll just give that a second for it to update, because the chat actually shows people before that updates for some strange reason. I'm not sure why that happens, but we'll give it another minute or so, because usually it's around the 3 to 4 minute mark that starts to change, so we'll just give it a minute. It's taking its sweet time today, that's for sure. Yeah, it's funny, the users in chat, it only shows me. That's funny, but it's obviously not just me. Oh, there we go, now we have a number of 4. Alright. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. We've had really terrible air for the past few days, but it's starting to finally clear out. Well, the past, like, 2 weeks, but anyway. It's driving my allergies nuts. So we're going to start off with bosses, as usual. Move this guy over here. This is a reused boss, which is pretty normal. So this is the... Oh, what's it called? Can't remember what the armor that this went with originally, but this is a reused boss. This is a new one. As you can see, we kind of have this like sort of Egyptian sort of motif on this one. It's kind of cool looking. And then we have that. There's the head of it, so you can kind of see it looks kind of like a, I don't know if I'd call it Egyptian necessarily, but yeah, that kind of look there. And then we have the effects, and then we have this guy, which we've seen before. He's been used before. But I think this one is Fire Spirit, and this one's Fire, or excuse me, this one's Spirit Earth, and this one's Spirit Fire. There we go. Brain cramp. So this month we have a total of 12 armors. I think there are, let's see. So there's 2 raids and 3 wars. Then there's the 4 seasonals, seasonal and exclusive. And then fusion, which means 10, But we also have 2 more event armors for the upcoming event for October, probably Halloween based, I would assume. So there's our bosses. So we have boss number 1 here, and we have boss number 2 here. Whoops, not 21, 2. There we go. Move those over really quick to here. Now we'll get into the armors. So this month, like I said, there's 12 armors in total, and I've double checked and triple checked, but there's still no art for the fifth ultimate armor. So maybe next month, month after, I don't know. But looking over the files here, we have 1, 2 Spirit Air, 1, 2, I think just 2 Spirit Earth, maybe 3. I'll have to double check, and then a bunch of Spirit, and then a bunch of Spirit Fire, and then of course we have 2 Spirit Water. So wars will most likely be Spirit Water and Spirit Air, and then raids will, of course, will be, well, sorry, there's three wars. So Spirit Water, Spirit Air, and maybe a Spirit Fire, I'm not sure. And then there will be raids, of course, Spirit Fire, Spirit Earth, and then, of course, the usual seasonals. So, anyway, moving on. Whoops, it opened it twice. So this one is the Deca Morph, which they're reusing for some reason as a Spirit Air, but that's that one. That's a reskin. There's actually 3 total reskins, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So this is Armor 1, Spirit Air. I think that's male. Yeah, pretty sure. And then we have this one, which is also reused. This one was Firestorm Scythe, I think, or something like that. This is the raid armor that goes with that boss, I think, because this is Spirit and Earth, and that's the boss's elements as well. And I've already looked for the other raid armor, and it's definitely Spirit Fire. So this looks like to be the other raid armor. So this one is Armor 2, Spirit Earth. That is female. And that's male. Right after it. That makes that easy. Okay. And then we have, this is a step down from Ascension on that very first one. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. So this is the same armor, it's just the unascended version. That's the unascended version male of this one. And then we have female, I think. Yeah, looks to be. So this first one here, but this is the female. And this is one of the new armors. This one is Spirit and Fire, as you can see there. It's pretty cool looking. I like that one. So I don't know what this one's going to be used for yet at this point, but that's the Spirit Fire. First one of, I think, 4. Spirit Fire, male, I think. Double check. Oh, maybe that's female. What just happened? What's going on here, computer? Stop that. I think that's female, actually, now that I look at it. It might be. Yeah, the waist is more narrow. That's going to be female, I think. Okay, moving on. And that's the male. That makes that easy. Male. There we go. And that is Spirit Water. Why is my phone going off? Stop it. So that's Spirit Water. I think that's probably going to be a seasonal. Spirit Water, that looks to be male, judging by the waist of it. That's the female, but unascended the Spirit Fire right here. 1 second, sorry. Getting a text message, that's what it was. Okay, sorry, my wife was texting me. Anyway, so this is the Spirit and Earth up here. This is the, I believe that's male, I think. Yeah, it's male. Did I label this one wrong? No, maybe I didn't. Hang on. Oh, this is the base, I think. Yeah, sorry. This is actually the this is the base, I think, of that same one. Let me double check here again. Sorry, I got distracted by the text message. This one is, yeah, so this is the base. Never mind. Okay. This one right here is the base of that same one. So the level 1 look. And that right there is the dual spirit exclusive. It's got a massive shield, a massive weapon. I kind of like the look of this one overall. But this is the dual spirit exclusive for anyone who wanted to see that. So that's what that one looks like. So that's dual spirit, and that is, I believe, it's hard to tell. Looks like the female. Not sure though. So this one is armor 5, spirit. I think that's female, but of course I can fix that later if I made a mistake. There is the female version of this guy up here at the top. There's the spirit fire, which is right. Spirit fire, which is right here, but that's the male unascended. Oops. Almost did that wrong. And then we have this one, which is, I believe, called Relentless Hell originally. Fire air, so now it's spirit water. So this is likely going to be one of the war armors. So armor 6, spirit air, spirit water, excuse me. And that one is male. And there's the female of the very first one, the very first spirit earth up here at the top. But this is, I think, the unascended, so the second evolution. And this is one of the 2 event armors. This is the golden one. So, I mean, hang on, my camera's like way higher than it, or way lower than it should be. It's usually right around there. There we go. Sorry, I had to move it. It was bugging me. But yeah, this one is one of the event armors. This is the golden one. I kind of like the look of it. It's kind of got this cool like flame effect on it. And of course it is spirit fire because it's spirit month and it's an event armor, so it's usually the adjacent elements. So this is the golden one. So we got armor 7. Oops. And I think that's male. Looks like it. Oops. Might help if I put the elements in here. There we go. And that's the... Yeah, I got it right. That actually was the female, so this one's the male. Oop. I hate when that happens. Computer's freaking out on me. This is the female of the spirit and water, which I think was this one. Yeah. Got 2 of them in there, so I wanted to make sure I was getting the right one. So this is the female of that one. There's the base of the female of this guy up here. I think this armor was originally fire air, I think. If memory serves me right. Here's another new one. This is also spirit and fire. This is, I'm trying to remember if that's the fusion armor for this month or not. I can't remember. But this is the other, this is another spirit fire. So armor 8, spirit fire, male 2. This is the raid armor. So it kind of has that sort of, I don't know if I'd call it Egyptian, but it kind of just has that Egyptian feel to me. But it has that kind of the same look as the beast, or the boss's head, rather. So that's the male of that one. So that's the raid armor number 2. That is spirit fire, male 2. Go. There's the golden, but this is the female of that one. I think it's there. Yeah. So a lot of spirit fires this time around. So I'm going to be getting myself confused here pretty fast. There's the non-golden. That one is, I think, male. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. So that's the non-golden spirit fire. So this is armor 10. That's male. There's the spirit fire up here toward the top, which was, I think, this one. Yeah. So that is the male at the base of that one. There's the fire and spirit. I think it was 8. Yes, good. Okay. Remembering the right ones. It's going to mess me up at some point. I label something wrong eventually. Here is the fire spirit, or excuse me, spirit earth. I think, I'm trying to remember if spirit earth was. This is, I think, the fusion armor. I think spirit earth is fusion in spirit month. Yeah. So this is probably going to be fusion. Armor 11, spirit earth, male. There. I hate when it does that to me. It just resets the image I'm looking at. So there's the fire, or the spirit. I keep saying fire because we're in fire month. Spirit water, right here, I believe. Yeah. This is the female of that one. There is the spirit air at the very top. That is, I think, the male, but that's the base of that one. Level 1 look. Level 1 through 49. There's the spirit water we just looked at. That's the male, but one step down from Ascension. There's the non-golden. I think that's female. Yep. So that's this one, I think. Nope, not that one. The one above it. Nope, not that one. I said I was going to mess myself up, and I'm starting to right now. It's not 7. That's the golden. Is it 9? No. Is it 10? It's 10. Okay, 10. All right. I'm going to mess myself up on this repeatedly because there's 4 of these guys. There's the golden, which is that one there, I think. Yeah. Okay, cool. Caused me some major brain cramp today. This one, I think. Yeah. So there's that one. That's the male, unascended. Spirit water has the female of this guy here. There's the very last one of that one guy at the top. That's the female base of that one. That one's out of the way. And here is the final armor, which to me looks kind of like a combo reskin, because this head looks awfully similar to a Spirit Air we had just, what, a cycle or 2 ago? 2 cycles ago, I think now. But the armor looks kind of similar, but the weapon's totally different. But this is the Spirit Air, I think the seasonal, but the head looks way too similar to that particular armor. But this is the last of them. This is Spirit Air number 12. So now I'm just sorting the rest of them out. There's Spirit Fire up here toward the top. I think it's at this one. Yeah. That's the base female, so that one's done. And we have that one, which is, it did it to me again. Resets the image I'm looking at. So there's number 10, I want to say. Yeah, nope, hang on. Is that right? Yeah, that is 10, never mind, sorry. Just confusing myself more. Don't mind me. That's the golden, that's number 7. Yeah. That's the female of that one. There's the Spirit Fire Raid Armor, which I think is, nope, sorry, wrong one. It's number 9, I want to say. Yeah. There's number 9, but that's the female version instead. And it's really hard to tell, but all you can really see is that, oh, it just did it to me again. Come on, I'm trying to zoom in here, you dumb thing. Back, 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 back. There we go. So if you zoom in right here on the waist, it's just a narrower waist. It's not really all that obvious otherwise, but if I go to the male, the waist is much more broad, and the chest plate's much more kind of flat. That's the easiest way to tell on those guys. Anyway, sometimes it's not that obvious even with that. That's the same armor. That's the female, I think. It's number 9. Yeah. Okay, so number 9, I'm pretty sure that's the female. That's the... Actually, I'm just going to do that one really quick. I'm going to get that one out of my way, just so I can have it done. 42... is the male, so I can get them done kind of in order, if you will. Skip that one, trying to find the other versions of that armor. There's a pretty cool cape, by the way. I'll come back to that in just a second. So this one is 55, is the male base. There's the female base, which is 59. Okay, I just wanted to get that one out of the way so I'm not messing myself up. Okay, back to here. So this one is the non-golden. I'm going to do the same thing probably with these ones just to make my life a little easier. I think that's 9. No, sorry, that's the one I just did. It's 8. Nope. Good lord. 10? Yeah, 10's the non-golden. Okay, I'll just do this one really fast too. So this one is the female. One step down from Ascension. Get to it eventually. There's the golden. Golden. So 63 is the male base. And 65 is the female base. I think that's all of those. Yep, that's all those. Okay, cool. Back to here. There's our Spirit Water. Pretty sure it's a seasonal. I think it was this one. No, that's the other one. Yeah, that's the War. This one above it. This one right here. So this is the male, but not ascended. Dual Spirit. Dual Spirit. There it is. There's the female, which is 56. Doing this a little bit differently than I normally do, just because it's a little faster. Kind of just go through them one by one, because there's so many spirit fires, I don't want to mess myself up. There is the dual spirit. Pets, blah, blah, blah. That one right there, 73 is the male base. And 75 is the female base. Okay. So yeah, I'm doing this a little out of the order I normally do these in, because I usually just do them one by one until I get to the end. But since there's so many spirit fires in this, I'm just going to do them all kind of together. So this one I think is 8. Yeah. Okay, so this is 8. That's the female, I believe. Yeah, that's the female one. Unascended. And then we have 49 is, I think, male base. And then 54 is the female base. Yeah. Okay, cool. That one's done, I think. Okay, so we have 7 is still not fully done, 8 is done, 9 is done, 10 is done. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I am making some progress here. So a little slower going than I'd probably like, but at least I'm getting them done and getting them properly labeled. This is male, but unascended of the dual spirit. Whoops, there's the female of the same one, so that's 48. Okay. And then we will get to there's the male base, which is 66. Okay. And 74 is the female base. Okay, cool. That's done. All right, moving on. Getting there slowly but surely. This is the Spirit Era, I believe, seasonal. So we'll go ahead and do this one really quick, because this one's up next. That's male, so 60. And there's female, which is 62. And there's male again, which is 64. It's the base this time, though. And 71 is the female. Done. Cool. Alright, we're getting there. Trying to get through this a little quicker. So Spirit Water, that's this one here, I think. Yeah. So this, and I think all I have left of this one is the base. Yeah, I do. That's all I have left is the base. So this one is base of male. Oops, alt tabbing the wrong place. And 67 is the female. Okay. Cool. Now we have the Spirit Earth, which I believe is the fusion. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is, if memory serves me right. So that one is the, I think, hang on. Yeah, so this is the unascended. So, evolution 1. That is the female ascended, so that's 51. I think, yeah. Wings. 57 is the female unascended. And then we go to 70, which is the male base. And 72 is the female base. So that one's done. Cool. There's a chest, which we'll come back to. I think, let's double check really quick here. We have 6 of those, 6 of those, 6 of those. Yeah, I think these are all done. These are all sorted now. Yep, it looks like it. Okay, so now we're going to go into miscellaneous. Like we have the cape here, for example. So this is going to be cape. And then we're going to move on. There's actually 2 of those, which is always funny to me. Whoops, actually, I did not actually want to name that one cape. I want to name the kind of circular-shaped avatar-looking thing the cape. I just leave those ones where they are. Let me find that really quick. Heads, pets, blah, blah, blah. There it is. So 84. 84, 52, and 53. And then we will name 84, whoops, 84 the cape. There we go. Cool. That's out of the way. All right. Now we're going to go into the rest. So we have the event armors are still left. I haven't done those. I just realized. Yeah, it is a pretty cool looking cape. I agree. Okay, so we have the event armor still. So this one is, I want to say, the golden? Yeah. So this is the golden. That's the male base, I think, of that one. I think that's all I have left is this one. I don't think there's anything left otherwise. 61 is the female base. Yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to skip pets. We're going to do 76 is going to be a chest. That's what it is. So 70, that's 10, I think, right? Nope, not 10. 9, okay. I don't know what the armor's called, of course. I'm just calling it by the one number I gave it. So 78, head. Then we have the spirit arrow at the very top, which is the Deca Morph, which for some reason they're reusing that. I don't know why. 79 is the head for that one. We have a pet, pet, pet. We have the spirit water, which I think is this one. Yes, cool. So number 83. There's the golden event armor, which I want to say was number 8. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. 8? Maybe? Nope, of course not. It's too easy. 7. Yeah. I knew I was going to do it eventually. I knew I was going to mess myself up eventually. 85. Then we have 87 is 10. Hooray, I got one right. Okay. Brain cramp all day long today. Okay. There's our Spirit Earth, which I think is this one. Yes, it is. Which is 88. Oops, I named that one Heads. Hedda instead of Head. Pet. And we do have what looks to be 2 reskinned pets, by the way, this month. I don't know why there's 2. Well, I should say there's 2, but there's also Primal versus Regular. But there's 2 pets in total. So, Primal, Regular, and then another one. So, I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is with all the extra pets, but we'll just see what happens. So this one is 90. There's our dual spirit head, which is number 5. I do remember that much. Whoops, wrong one. Number 91. There's another cape. Yes, there are 2. I don't know why that one's even there, but it is. So this is 92. We'll just move that one out of here and just drop it in here too, so it's out of the way. I don't know why there's 2 in there, but there it is. So, where were we? I want to say 89. Yep, pet. There's our fire spirit number 9. No, of course not. It's 8. Yeah. So that one I think is our seasonal, I believe. Of course, I'll give my predictions at the end, but just so I can kind of give people a heads up ahead of time. There's our spirit water at the top. That's, I believe, our seasonal as well. Yeah, just making sure. Those aren't as bad because there's only 2 of them. There's a pet. Pet. Yeah, that one right there. Should everyone that knows the spirit pet, Shatter Shield pet, that's the same pet, just reskinned. There's our Spirit Fire number... Oh, yeah, I got it right. Number 3. So that's this one right here. 102. Pet, pet, pet. That one should look familiar too. There's the other cape. So there's 106 and 107. So there are in fact 2 capes. I'm guessing one is Player of the Month. The other one's the regular. Just guessing, but that's probably what it is. So that's 106. We can now move on to 108. Pet, pet. There's the head for the Spirit Earth up here at the top, the first raid armor of the 2. That one is 110. And then we got rings and amulets. Okay, so I'm going to grab everything from 109 up to here. Should all be pets. There's going to be more, but that's just getting those out of the way so I can work on other stuff. So this is the ring and amulet set for the Deca Morph right there. That's the same ones. So that's going to be armor number 1. That's the ring. That's the amulet. Okay. That's going to be our, this guy right here. Yep, looks just like the weapon. That's an easy one. 113 ring. That's our spirit water down at the bottom. The lower one, I should say. That's the reskin of the Relentless Hell, I think it was called. Spirit water now instead of fire air. That's one of the event rings. That's the non-golden, so 10, I want to say. Yep, number 10. Number 115, ring. There is the very bottom guy. I want to say the spirit air. Yep, just like that one. Cool. Some of these are going to be more difficult than the rest, but this is much easier to sort out than I was expecting it to be. That's the golden, which I want to say is 7? I don't remember. Huh, got it right again. Hooray! You never know. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. That's the, whoops, that's ring. That is our raid armor, which is, I think, 9? Yeah, what do you know? That's the ring for that one. That one is the very same armor we just looked at. This one right here has the same kind of like little emblem right there and on the shield. That's an easy one. So 119, that's the ring for that one. Then we have chest, which I moved out of the way. I renamed it, but it jumped back to it anyway. That one is, I think, the event armor, which is 10. Yeah, because it has the same kind of flame look to the sides of the head and the shoulders and stuff. Looks just like that right there, actually. So that's the ring, or the amulet, excuse me, for the event armor, non-golden, the regular version, if you will. Gonna zoom back out again. There's the amulet for the spirit water right here. Yeah. That's the amulet for that one. There is the ring for the spirit fire. I want to say it's number 8. Yeah, I think it's this one. Looks like the center of the head, sort of. Yeah, I think it's this one. The color scheme matches, and the kind of it looks like the center of the head there. I think that's the right one. So number 8. Again, if I get it wrong, I can always rename it back to something else. Ring. There is the amulet, I think, for the for this guy, I think. Has the same kind of diamond shape there in the middle of that. Whoops, I did not want to do that. Has the same kind of diamond shape in it. Oh, sorry, that's not the right one. Raid armor. This one right here. Nope. 10. Is it 10? 9? Yeah, 9. This one right here. Sorry, this is what I was referring to. It has the same sort of shape right there. Okay, there we go. I'll get it eventually. 123 amulet. That one is the golden of the event armors, which is I think 7. Yeah. So that's 7. 7's amulet, I should say. Oh, hang on, let me start over so I'll mess myself up. That one, oh, that's this one here at the bottom, the spirit earth. It's that guy right there. Looks just like the shoulder. Cool. So this is actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be much more difficult. But thankfully it is not. So that's always a good thing. That's the fire spirit, or the spirit fire I was just talking about, number 9. No, raid 8. That one. Actually, no, maybe not. Sorry, that might not be the right one. Spirit fire up here at the top. Maybe not that one either. No, maybe I had it right. Does not look that much like this guy. No, I think I might have had that right. I think it might have been that one. Number 7. Nope, sorry. Number 8? Yeah, there we go. I was thinking it might be this one, but then it doesn't really kind of, I mean, usually they look like the shield, or at least have, kind of a similar thing, but again, the color scheme's very similar. Excuse me, but it doesn't really kind of look like the armor, really, at all. Looks like the head, again, very similar to the head. Actually, that's the exact same shape as the head. Never mind, it is that one. I'm just second guessing myself for no particular reason. 126. So this is Amulet. That one, I think, might be our exclusive. I'm not sure, though. Have to look at it again. Yeah, I think that goes with this. Kind of doesn't really match the color scheme all that well, though. Let me look at the other armors here. It's entirely possible I may have gotten this one wrong, though. No, actually, no, not that one. Sorry, where's it at? Not that one, because that's a reskin. It's not that one either. Maybe this one? Kind of does look a little more like that one, like it fits better. Has the same kind of whitish colors to it. Yeah, I think it actually goes with this Spirit Water. The one that I believe is the seasonal. I think that's where it goes. It looks more like that one than it does the other one. Now that one looks like the dual Spirit. That's why I was second guessing myself, because it didn't look enough like it. This one has a very similar kind of color scheme and kind of matches that purpley sort of feel. I think that's the right one. I'm just looking to see if I can spot anything. Oh yeah, center of the weapon right there. Same thing. Cool. That's an easy one then. It looks very similar to it. Not only the color scheme, but that is like the haft of the weapon. Right above where your hand would sit. And that, I think, goes along with that same Spirit Air at the top. Or Spirit Water, excuse me, this guy right here. Yeah, that looks like that one. I'm going to say it does. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say it does. For simplicity's sake, if nothing else. Okay, and that's the one that I was looking for. That's the Spirit... this guy right here. Yeah, looks just like the head. So that one is our ring. Got a lot of stuff to sort through here. A crap ton more than I was expecting when I started doing this. And that, I think, is the amulet, or the amulet that goes with the same armor. Yeah, looks just like the shield. That's an easy enough one. Okay, 131. That's the amulet. And then we have the reskin at the top, which is this guy right here. That's an easy one because it looks just like the original ring for it. I'm going to skip to the amulet really quick for it. There it is right there, 136. That's the amulet. Okay, cool. Now we have the final one, which is for the dual Spirit. That's the amulet for that puppy. Right there. I think that's it. I think all we have left is crafting materials now. And a key. So there is a crafting material. Looks kind of like a little dresser. I don't know what you'd call it. A little voodoo doll looking thing. Key. A little clown looking dude. Another little clown looking dude. And a third. So there you go. So there's the material. So I'm going to assume that these bottom three are for the event, and these top two are the regular materials. Oops, I think I renamed something wrong here. I did. This is actually a ring, or a key, I mean, rather. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. So let's take all this stuff here, move it to my folder I've already created. Oops, don't want that one. Rings and amulets and heads, please. Thank you. Do not need all the rest yet. And head, ring and amulet, head and amulet. Cape and pets. Copy and drop them into here. Ta-da! Alright, now we're going to start assembling. Okay, so male, 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 male. So we're going to do all males again this month. Just a little bit easier for consistency. Okay, so this one is first. This one is, let's see here. It's all out of whack, out of order here. It's 4, 5, and 6. Whoops. No. So it should be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, the Deca Morph is a reskin, obviously, because that's what this came from. It's the exact same armor, just the color scheme rearranged, or redone, rather, new color palette, what have you. So this is one of 3 reskins this month, but 2 of them are likely to be wars, which is where they usually use the reskins. And of course, one of them's a raid as well, but there's 2 reskins, two wars that are reskins, and then a raid that are reskins. There's 3. And the next triple raid month we have is December. So 2 months from after this. I checked the calendar actually yesterday on that because I couldn't remember. So this is a triple war month. So there will be 2 off element and then 1 on element, most likely Spirit Fire. I just don't know which one yet. So this is, like I said, this is a war armor almost guaranteed. And I didn't know necessarily when I wanted to say it, so I'll just say it now. This will likely be my very last live stream, because I am most likely going to be leaving the game before the end of the month. So figured I'd just rip the band-aid off and say it now. So it's been 7 years. I've been playing since June of 2014. Started on Android, of course. Didn't play on iOS until just within the last year. But this will likely be my last live stream because I will probably not be playing at all within the next few weeks, excuse me. Probably before the end of the month. So for anyone that was curious, that is the current status. So, which means that I've already kind of handed off the reins, if you will, on both Reddit and the Discord. So there's someone there that's going to kind of take over for me. But since I won't be doing this anymore, there won't really be anyone to update the bot, either the Discord bot or the one online. So essentially, when I stop, everything else does too. So the bot will stop updating both the Discord one. I mean, somebody else has access to the Discord one, of course, so they can update it if they want to with their own stuff. But I won't be creating any new content, basically within the next few days, or few weeks, excuse me. So that one is done. I gotta go out to my folder. Where'd it go? There it is. Get to the right folder here. Okay, there we go. Had to navigate to the right place. So, anyway, yeah, so even though someone else, as I said, has access to the Discord bot, so it was actually created by someone else, there won't be any new content coming from me. So, the KnD bot online will basically just stop updating, because I'm the only one that has the login credentials for it. All of the people that were originally involved in its creation have since left the game for the most part. Panther, who had created the original raid calculator that was there, and also the newer version of it, has gotten too busy with life and other things, so he hasn't updated the raid calculator either that I'm aware of. So there's basically going to be a lot of things that are just going to kind of stop updating. So just wanted to make sure everyone's aware that's watching this and or will see this later. I've come to the realization that there's just not enough hours in the day for me to get all the things done that I need to get done. And whoops, I didn't get the arm. That might be helpful before I throw the shield on there, dummy. Sorry, distracting myself while I'm talking. I've realized that there's just not enough hours in the day to be able to get my... what the crap? Oh, duh, no wonder. I was like, what is going on here? Why is this not going on? Again, I distracted myself and kind of got lost in what I was doing. I just don't have enough time, basically, is what it boils down to. A lot of the stuff that I do for the game and for the community, I just kind of took on myself without really thinking about it, because really it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's not necessarily hard to do. It's just time-consuming, and I just truthfully don't have the time anymore. I did, 3-4 years ago, but life moves on, and unfortunately my life has gotten to the point where I just don't have the time to do this anymore. And the game has also kind of lost its zeal, I guess you could say. I just don't have the want to really play it anymore. It's like a lot of people have said, it was already repetitious when I first started it, so that wasn't something I could really complain about, because it's always been that way. So I couldn't just say, oh, it's gotten too repetitious, because it's always been repetitious. That part really never bothered me. But I just don't have enough time to really play effectively or devote the time I need to really even be able to maintain the accounts that I have. It just takes too much time. I mean, when there isn't an event going on, it doesn't take as much time, granted. But, yeah, anyway, I'm just ranting. I just don't have the time anymore, is what it boils down to. And I do all of what I do in my spare time on top of that, and I'm not being paid for it, and I'm not really, of course, saying that I need to be paid for it. Wasn't asking for that in the beginning. People want to donate money, cool, great, I don't mind, but it's not something I expect. I have a job, so it's whatever in that respect, but I've run out of time, basically is what it boils down to. I just don't have the time to do this anymore. So, there you have it. Those of you who are watching and either live or will watch this later on YouTube or whatever, that's the story. There are other variables, of course, involved that are outside of what I've just talked about, but they are not the primary reasons. I have been debating about this since December of last year. I've been thinking about it seriously. I basically retired for the most part on Android Global back in December, and I was only just active during raids when I had the time to. So I just basically I was already done on the Android Global side in December. So I've been debating really ever since then about just doing away with it entirely. And that's what I've come to the decision that's what I'm going to do now. Finish out maybe the rest of this month and then be done. I may not even go that long. I may just call it quits before. But I will most likely still be online and checking chats periodically, but I won't be as active as I have been. Again, for the same reason, I just don't have the time. Life goes in different directions, and sometimes you have to just roll with the punches and do what life's, what life intends for you to do. And this, unfortunately, is just not where my life is going. So, this is one of the things that will have to stop. It is what it is. Weapon, where are you weapon? Oh, there we go. Wrong one. I was looking at the one just below this one. I was like, no, that's the wrong direction. That's the victory stance. Pose. Weapon thing. There we go. Quite a bit of wrist to blend in on that one. Clean up a little bit of that edge there so that the weapon blends in a bit better. There it is. But as I said, I'll be active online here and there, but it's not going to be a regular occurrence. That's a cool looking armor. I really dig this one. I may still do the Datamine itself when I have the time to, but I won't be live streaming it anymore, because honestly, this part of the whole process, if I'm not doing it live, doesn't take me that long to do. It's mostly because I'm talking out loud, and so there's no dead air while I'm doing it. But if I have the time to do it, I can bust this out in an hour. It's really not that time consuming. So it's more just everything else that kind of involves all the things that I've kind of taken on takes more time than just this. This doesn't take that long, and creating the stat sheets doesn't really either. But it's just all of the things kind of combined has just snowballed, and I just don't have the time anymore to do it. So it is what it is, like I said. So. Okay, that one's done. Here's our Spirit Water. This is, like I said, I believe the seasonal. Not 100% sure, but it looks like a seasonal because it would be really pretty uncommon for them to use a Spirit Water reskin, or excuse me, just a reskin period for a seasonal. This one just has some edges that are kind of need some cleaning up. But this one I believe is our seasonal Spirit Water. Can't, of course, verify that, but that's just what I think it is. This is also a cool looking armor, but I like the Spirit Fire I just did. I like that one a little better than this one. This is still a cool looking armor, but I just don't like it quite as much as the other one. It had some edges on the arm and the side, but they're going to be covered by the arm and the shield anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. This one also has a little bit of an edge on that foot. That right hand foot. By the way, I wanted to ask, is anyone happens to be on still? Is my audio sounding okay? I mean, am I coming through clear? Because I've had some issues in the past with my audio kind of being really, really quiet. I wanted just to make sure that it's still at an acceptable volume, that you can still hear me. That is still a cool looking armor. I just don't like it quite as much as the Spirit Fire. Anyway, massive shield time. This thing's huge. Of course, the dual Spirit, probably the biggest shield I've seen. Honestly, it's freaking massive. This one's big, don't get me wrong, but I think the other one, the Spirit's actually bigger. It's a big one. Okay, cool. Thanks. Just wanted to be sure, because I've had issues in the past where it's been really, really quiet, and then I had one stream where I had all sorts of background noise, and it was because I had set my input on my computer wrong, to where it was just what's called a line in rather than being a microphone in. And line in has a lot less filtering on it, so it has a lot more noise, whereas microphone has a little bit of kind of built-in filtering on my computer. So anyway, clean that up there. Is that right? I gotta zoom in. I can't really even see. Yeah, I guess that is right. Okay, wanted to be sure. All right. So we are now a third of the way done. Almost a third of the way done, because there's 12 armors, and this is number 3. Or number 4, excuse me. So almost a third of the way done. That one is 290. That's actually not as wide as I was expecting it to be. If my tongue would cooperate, that would be excellent. 4, whoops. And now the dual Spirit. So for anyone who is waiting to see this one, here it is. I mean, you've already seen the picture of it before, but I'm going to assemble it now. And if that's why you were here, because you want to see what it looks like after it's assembled, you only have another minute or so or less to wait. I like that. That's cool. It's actually a wholly unique armor. I mean, it doesn't seem like it borrows elements from any of the previous ones either, which is definitely appreciated. Like some of them we've seen in the past have had kind of some elements borrowed from previous ones, like the dual fires just look too similar to me anymore. But this one looks very unique, very kind of all by its own, all by itself. Like it doesn't look like anything previous, is what I want to say. That's the word I was getting to. My brain would cooperate. Whoops, gotta move that up. There we go. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I've been around as long as I have, mostly, is because of the people. I mean, there's people I've talked to on all 4 servers, and that's not like a recent thing. I've been talking to people on all 4 servers for a while now. But it's mostly the people. But honestly, if I had to have my as they say in the States, for those of you who aren't from the States, if I had my druthers, honestly, the people that I got along with the best were people on Android Global and iOS Global, and only specific groups within those two communities. Like, for example, I used to be on very good terms with the majority of the Touch crowd, and that's not really changed. I'm still friends with quite a few of them. But I kind of had a falling out with the majority of them because of one of their leaders. It's no longer with the game, coincidentally. But I just kind of was like, nope, I'm not going to put up with this crap anymore. It was that one particular person, for the most part, that kind of ruined it more or less for everybody else. And I kind of just had to cut my ties there. And I mean, I'm still friends, like I said, with some of them, but not as many as I was. And that's kind of, water under the bridge at this point, so it's no longer relevant. But I'm also friends with a lot of people on Android Global. Again, people that have been playing since, even before I started, which was, as I said, June of 2014. So this past June, that's 7 years ago. That doesn't look right. I gotta move that up. There we go. Something looked wrong. Looks right now. So there's that armor. That's pretty cool looking. I like it. But the shield is humongous. Perhaps a bit too big. Because it just covers up that whole side. You can't really even see the designs on the armor or anything. Kind of weird, if you ask me. But yeah, like I said, the reason I've stayed around as long as I have and why I've continued playing as long as I have is because of the community. While there are, of course, the bad apples that are going to cause problems for everybody else, that's going to happen no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a mobile game or an online game or whatever. It's going to happen pretty much no matter what you do. You're going to have the bad apples. And so that is, like I said, there are other factors that are, kind of contributing to me wanting to leave the game, but it's mostly time. Like 90+% of it is time. So, anyway, there you are. Back to what I was talking about, like, half an hour ago? Back to it again. But I'm done talking about it now. Back to your regularly scheduled live stream of Season 63. And I'm actually going quite a lot faster this time. I'm actually just at about an hour now. I usually am just starting the assembly at about the 45-minute mark. Well, I guess that's about right, I suppose. Never mind, maybe I'm not running behind. Or maybe I'm not going faster, maybe it is the same. I don't know. It has been a long week, and it's the weekend, and I really shouldn't be still this tired after the weekend, but probably stayed up too late last night. But I'm probably just going to take the rest of the day and take it easy. Relax, watch some TV, watch a movie, something like that. Anyhow. We have like 4 people. 4 people that probably were on when I started. Probably the same ones that are on now. Because I saw at one point there was like 7 or 8, and then it dropped back down again. Probably because some people just honestly wanted to see what the dual spirit was going to look like and not much else, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. You got other stuff to do, do your thing. I don't care. I'm not offended if you don't want to stay for the entire stream. It is usually about 2 hours, so I understand. I wouldn't necessarily want to stay for the whole thing either if I wanted just to see the one thing. So I cannot blame you. This armor is really wide. It's just because this weapon is so long. But this weapon has actually been used a few times on a few different armors. This one is, 325. Holy crap. That's a wide armor. There are wider ones, but there aren't that many. Number 6? Yeah. Now I'm halfway done. Okay, we're going to move on to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, there we go. Eleven, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, I think that's right. I like to do them in order, just so I keep it consistent. Yep, okay. found out today from my better half that today is Grandparents' Day, and I am in fact a grandparent, but I didn't know. No one told me. No one told me there were any plans for anything. I kind of found out this morning when I woke up. It's like, oh, were there plans to do stuff? Well, yeah, we wanted to. I'm like, oh, well, no one told me until just now, so... I mean, we'll probably end up doing something this afternoon, because it's only like 2 o'clock now, 2:05. So I'm sure there's still plenty of time in the day to do stuff, but I just won't be doing it with them right now. Because, as I said, I just found out. So, this one's a hard one, because this chin really kind of juts out. I don't really know where this is supposed to go. I'm gonna guess like that, but... I guess that's okay. Just looks weird. And you got these weird kind of like claws and flame-looking shapes and stuff on these legs, and then these like talons on the ends of the feet. This is a cool-looking armor. It's definitely unique. I'm not sure how much I really like it in general, but it's a cool-looking armor in its own way. But I had a little bit of a, yeah, right there, a little bit of an edge. Needed some cleanup. It's got these cool, like, kind of flame-looking claws going around the chest. It's unique. I gotta give them that. That hand's got a little bit of an edge on it too, but it's going to be covered by the shield, so I'm not going to mess with it. Right about there. It's got a little bit right there at the bottom of the hand. You can't even see it now, but you can kind of see it there. Just a little bit of an edge. And we got this shield, which is still, again, kind of cool. That's the same sort of like, almost like bony flames, I guess you could call it. They like look like bones, but they look kind of like flames at the same time. That shield has actually been used before. These pieces that are on the outside of it have not, but that's been used before. I recognize that shape. Don't remember what it's from off the top of my head, but I remember it. Got this cool looking like flame axe. I barely even have to clean that up. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, it has kind of this bone and flame sort of look to it. Maybe that's intentional. Like I said, it's a cool looking armor. I'm not really, too keen on it, but not going to matter to me anyway. Because I won't be getting it regardless. So, but yeah, so this is the Halloween event armor, the golden version, and the other one will be coming in just a minute. So this one is $250-ish. Yeah, that's darn near square. Actually, yeah, it's $250. Yep, darn near square. Cool. Now we have 6 people watching. Just went up in the last minute or two. Because I just glanced at it a minute ago and I mentioned that there were 4 people on. Now there's 6. People have stuff to do, they have lives. I don't expect them to stay on here, like I said, the entire time, and if they only wanted to be here to watch one particular part of it, that's cool. I understand. I have other shit to do sometimes, too. Sometimes I can't be online and doing what I want for hours at a time either. So I get it. There's that one. I will have to double check my other on my other screen here in just a second, because I can never remember if Spirit Month was formerly, before the dual element exclusives, if Spirit Month was Spirit Fire or if it was Spirit Earth. I can never remember. I want to say because Water Month was Water Fire was fusion, Fire Spirit was so it's Spirit Earth. So this is a seasonal. Sorry. I can never remember. I have to think about it, and go back and remember what the last couple of fusion armors were that were the on element, the matching element for the month. Because water was water fire, and then fire was fire spirit, which we haven't had yet, but it will be eventually. And then this month will be Spirit Earth. So I did have that wrong. I was thinking it was Spirit. Fire was fusion, but it's not. Spirit Earth is fusion. Because formerly it would have been Spirit Earth would have been the exclusive before they switched to dual element. There we go. Got a little bit right there from the edge of that weapon popping up. Don't really need it in the picture, obviously. Whoops, I don't need to do that yet. I need to move this into place first. Made my layer for the back, for the rest of the weapon, the handle of the weapon behind it, and I didn't need to yet. Getting ahead of myself. Clean that up there, and just a little bit off that. And then we'll go get the rest of the handle right here. Drop that in place right about here. Ta-da! There's our Spirit Fire, most likely seasonal. I don't imagine they would do this one. Oh, it's entirely possible. It could be a war, I suppose, but I don't think so. I think this is probably a seasonal, most likely. So this one is 277. That one's also pretty close to square. Not quite square, but close to it. Right about there. So this one is armor 8. Now we're on number 9, which is our raid armor, which is our Spirit and Fire raid. Okay, where are you at? There it is. Right above where I was looking. Looking off to the left and the right, and it's directly above where I'm looking. Duh. Alrighty. This one kind of has a sort of a jack-o'-lantern sort of face, but has like an Egyptian or maybe possibly Arabian sort of motif to it. Arabian might be more accurate. It kind of has an Egyptian feel to it though too. I don't know. Could be a combination of the two. Because this turban is definitely more of an Arabian sort of feel, while the kind of these shapes are kind of more indicative of Egyptian sort of vibes. I don't know. Could be either or. Could be both. Whoops, I went too close to that shoulder. There we go. And a very tiny shield. Weapon, of course, isn't that huge either, for that matter, but it's very tiny compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Like, this thing just barely covers that hand. Like, it barely covers anything. I'm hoping for the lack of, I'm hoping for the players who get it that it has decent defense, because that shield, if it's any indication, does not reflect very positively for the defense of the armor. But hopefully, because it's a Spirit Month armor, it should be pretty decent. There is that. Just a little bit off of that. We'll go grab the rest of the handle, which is all the way over here, hiding away in the corner. And about like so. There we go. That looks off to me. That looks weird. Why does it look weird? I guess that's just the way it's supposed to look. It doesn't look right, though. Yeah, I guess that is the way it's supposed to look. It just looks weird to me. Like the lines don't line up. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes deceiving me. Looks fine when you look at it from that size, when it's that size, but up close it looks weird. This is also a very small armor. 230. Yeah, this one's actually taller than it is wide, which is pretty rare. Which one is this one? Yeah, it's 9. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, which one is it? Crap! I've lost track again. Because there's so many Spirit Fires this month. There's 4 of them in total. And this is the final one, I think. This is the regular version of the event armor, with the same odd little edge on the chin, or the bottom of that jaw, I should say. I need to clean up right there. We have the chest. Just going to go right about there. I think it's roughly the same as where I put the last one. I cut off the edge of that top of that shield. Probably going to show up here if I... Well, maybe not. Maybe I did a good job and didn't actually include it, because it would have been right about there, but maybe I missed it. Looked like I caught the top edge of it, but maybe I didn't. There's again that same sort of little edge on the hand that you can see right there, but you won't see it once I get it on here. There we go. And the shield. It's gonna bug me because I know I've seen that shape before. I just can't think of where it came from. Without the little kind of bony protrusions on it, but I've seen that shape before. And if I remember correctly, that was really all there was to the shield. I just don't remember where I saw it. Or where it came from, rather. Okay. Only 2 armors left after this one. Okay, that one's done. Trying to zoom out to the same rough area I always do. It's right down here. You can probably not see it right there. You probably can't see it that well, but I go right around the 111 to 114% zoom, so I can get them all kind of in the same general size range. All right, this one's 255, or 250, I mean, square, almost exactly. Okay. That one's 10, yep. All right, now this one is the fusion, or at least it should be. A little bit of an edge on that arm, again, but it's going to be covered, so I'm not too concerned about it. I try to clean them up when they're like obviously there and something that needs to be cleaned up, but this one is okay because it's going to be covered anyway, and there's a little bit of a gap there where the chin would normally go, so I'm leaving that open on purpose. Okay. And legs. Roughly about like that. Trying to get that centered. There we go. Sometimes it's a little harder than it looks. Also a little bit of an edge on that hand, but again it's going to be covered by this tiny shield. Again, these are tiny shields by comparison to the other ones we've seen, but this is a Spirit Earth, so this one should have really good defense and HP on it because of the fact that it's Spirit Earth. It just has a really, really tiny shield. Like, look at that thing. It's tiny. It's itty bitty. The weapon is a pretty cool looking axe thing, but it's also not very huge. That one didn't really require much to clean up at all. And there's no handle to clean up on that one either. I don't really like it when they don't put the handle like in the hand, or like a little bit you've seen me doing where I clean up the edge of that handle a little bit. These look funky to me because the handle just kind of disappears behind the hand. Like I can still line it up with that right there, but it just looks funky because there's nothing kind of, transitioning from out of the hand onto the weapon. So it just looks a little odd to me when I put it together like that, but it is what it is. Just looks funky. Oh, I need to zoom out. What am I doing? Duh. Right about there. Gotta get it in the same general area in that corner. 245. Yeah, this one's also pretty close to square. Pretty darn close. And last but not least, this one, which I said earlier, this head looks very similar to a Spirit and Air we had just, I think, 2 cycles ago. I can't remember what the name of it was called, like Spear of Revelation or something like that, or maybe that was a War Armor that month, I can't remember. But this one, the head looks really similar. The armor and the shield and the rest, of course, not as much, but the head looks very similar to me, other than that top piece. This part right here looks really similar. So there's that. Again, that's just to me. I could be wrong. And this bottom end, also the lower half, the legs, also kind of looks similar to the same armor. And this one being, of course, Spirit and Air, it has a similar color scheme, so that probably helps quite a lot in it looking very similar to that armor. This doesn't, of course, as much, but this bottom half kind of does, and the head really does a lot. And a lot of armors very similar heads on them in recent seasons. There's that one, which I think is still a cool looking armor. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I don't know, just looks a little too similar to my eyes. Alrighty. That there, a little bit on the bottom edge of that shield. I'm not sure if it's even going to show up. Yeah, it kind of does. Put that right about there. Clean up that little edge, just a little bit. This one also has a tiny shield. There's a lot of tiny shields this month, but most of them are, well, I shouldn't say most of them, probably like half of them are massive, and the other half are tiny. There's kind of no middle of the road. A little bit of a hand right there I got to clean up. And then this, of course, has to be completely removed because it blends through into the armor and should be behind it. I probably should have just... Actually, I'm going to undo that. Hang on. I'm going to undo that entirely. I'm going to do it myself so I'm not making a mess. So I'm going to go right about here and then go up. Oh crap, I got to zoom out. Right about there. That'll make it a little bit easier to blend. And then I can just get the rest of the handle in there. They do that sometimes. I'm not sure why. Just every so often they'll have that little bit of an edge that bleeds through. Not sure why. Like they'll have the little bit of the handle will actually be on it rather than it being a separate piece. And they usually have a separate piece besides, but it's just weird that that happens every so often. Because I think the actual rest of the handle is, that's right there. So I don't know why they do that. Sometimes they just leave it on there, but anyway, whatever. Strange. To me anyway. Okay. There's that guy. Right about there. This one is 255. That one's also pretty darn close to square. A couple of small armors in this one. This month. Number 12. And that's that. We now have 3 people online. It's fine. I'm just noticing the numbers. Okay, let me jump over here to my other window. Look at this one for... So this one? Yeah. 6 armors wide. That's what I was looking for, was the width of that one. So that one is 1700 by 1250. Okay, we're going to do a new 1700 by 1500. Make it big. And new layer. Put you in the background. We're going to go about 350-ish down to about 700-ish. Oops, dumbass. Left it in the middle of the thing rather than just creating 2 lines. Out to here and then down to here. I don't want it actually in the image, I just want the lines. There we go. Okay, now should be able to go back to here. Start assembling this puppy. Copy, paste. Should be over the line. Yes, hooray. Okay, cool. That one's going to go right about there. This one's going to go right about... I'm going to have to probably scooch these up closer to each other at some point, but I want to just get them kind of laid out first. There's that one. There's a lot of wide armors in this month. Probably going to have to do the same thing. I probably have to like kind of scooch them in closer to each other once I get this more kind of laid out. But this is a huge armor as well. So this top row has a lot of huge armors in it. Bottom row has a bunch of small ones. I might have enough room. Maybe. Nope, definitely not. Okay, we're going to undo that. We're going to move these guys, especially these 3 right here. I'm going to move these a little bit closer to that one there. Actually, let's just move it. I just don't want it right on top of that one. That'll work. I might have to move these guys too. I'm going to move at least these 2 a little bit closer. Just to give myself a little bit more room on that far side for this guy to fit. I just don't want him overlapping the other one. It's going to keep happening. I still have to move my dual spirit a little over too. I just don't want him right on top of this guy. I want them to be enough room to actually fit both of them on there. And that is just about perfect, actually. Perfect. Okay, cool. Now I got to line up all the other guys that are much smaller directly below these if I can. Much smaller armors on the bottom row. I don't know why that is. Just worked out that way. This one's about average size. But it's going to look funky. Because there's so many more armors on the bottom row that are tiny compared to the row above that are huge. Gotta try to line these up a little bit so it doesn't look so off-center and kind of off-kilter. Like that. The good part about all these armors on the bottom being small is it's easier to line them up with the ones above them. So there's that at least. Yeah, all tiny armors except for that second one on the bottom row. That's funny. Just the way it worked out, this one's the only kind of big one on that bottom row. So there we go. So let me quickly throw everything else on here before I do my predictions. Like a new layer, ring. Actually, I might do the amulet first. So a reference point of where that needs to go. Right about there. Ring, right about there. Amulet. This is a tiny amulet, if I remember correctly, compared to the other ones I've seen that are much bigger. And then the ring is also kind of small. Have this guy here, right about there. This one right about there. Spirit water. And dual spirit. About like so. And then we have our spirit water, most likely war armor, reskin on the right side here. So there are 3 reskins, they're all in the top row. The first, the second, and the sixth. All the rest of them are new. They all look really kind of unique in general, period, except for this one. It kind of has a very similar look to a previous Spirit Air armor. But again, that might just be me. But it does look very similar to my eyes to previous ones we've had in the past. So there's event armor number 1, which is our golden version. About like so. Spirit fire number, what is this, 3 now? 4? There's a lot of them anyway, this one. Ring, about like so. Raid armor number 2. Event armor, regular version. Big ring on that one. Huge. Huge ring on that one. Going right about there. Going right about there. I want to get too close and overlap the other one. Okay, there we have it. So let me jump over here and grab my elements. We start with air first because there's only 2 of them. Air right there. And air, whoops, zoomed in way too far, right about there. Is that about right? Looking at like distance, I put it from the feet. It needs to move just a bit to the left. Okay. Now we're going to do earth, and there are only 2 of them, which is this one here. Again, I'm trying to keep the spacing about the same. Hang on a second, let me double check here. So number 2 and number 11. Yep, just the 2. Cool. All right. So this one down here. There. Then we go with fire, and there are a bunch of these. Let's see here. We have 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there are in fact 5. Okay. 3. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll do it in my head again just to make sure I'm not messing things up. There's that one. That one and that one. Here's all those. Now we will jump to water, which is just 2 of them. So this one here, and this one here. There's that. Now the rest is all spirit. So I'm right here. I might as well just finish these guys up while I'm at it. Zooming out a little bit makes it a little easier to move around. That's why I keep zooming out then zooming back in again. Makes it a little easier to navigate where I'm at. And there's that one. Oops, down just a little too far. And final 2. Alright. So there we are. So, let me quickly save this. Nope, not there. I need to go to here. Okay, so here's my predictions. Here's what I think is going to happen for this month. So Spirit Air, that's War. Raid, not sure, possibly War. Seasonal, exclusive, War. Event, possibly seasonal, possibly War, not sure on that one. These 2, the Spirit Fire's 3rd on the 1st row and 2nd on the 2nd row, I don't know for sure. It's one or the other. One's War, one's not. So seasonal or War, vice versa, whatever. Raid, event, fusion, seasonal. That's what makes the most logical sense to me. I'm just not 100% sure about the 2 Spirit Fire Armors right here. Don't know which of the 2 those are going to be. One will be War, one will be seasonal. I just don't know which is which. I'm going to guess that this one's probably going to be a War, but I could be wrong. So, that is what it is. So, let me get my other tools going on here. Let's get ourselves a text box. Down here, I'm actually going to make a new layer just to be safe, so I'm not overwriting anything else I already have. Roughly about here. Oops, I still have something selected. I'm going to try to make this box not so huge, which I invariably do, like every time I try. Let's do this 26. And new Shadow Forged. Hey, I got that almost perfect sized. That does not happen often. I usually screw it up in some way. Okay, I'll get this. Move that. Kind of want to center it if I can. So this is 1700, so that's about 850. So about there. I'm sorry, that's 950. What am I doing? It's going to look funky, I think. Because half of 1700 is 850, but I think because of the way the armors are on here, it's going to look funky. But it is centered. Yeah, well, that's done. Okay, now we got to go back to, oops, wrong one. I need to go back to here. Get my materials. Drop you in place right there. And then get you, and drop you in place right there. There's our materials. And again, I don't know which one's exclusive versus just regular seasonal, but I think it's probably the little voodoo doll looking thing is probably going to be the exclusive, and the little chest or the dresser is going to be seasonal. I don't know. Just a guess. And that little gap right there is not the same as that one, and it visually bothers me. So I'm going to move it. Just for whatever reason, it just doesn't look right to me, not having the same kind of gap between it and this one. For some reason, it bothers me. So I'm just ooching it in a little closer. Okay, I haven't even gone through the pets yet. Crap, I better do that. Okay, so this is pet number 1, pet number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is weird. So that pet right there doesn't look anything like that one. There are 2 pets, but they don't look at all alike. That one's actually kind of it's a reskin. Like, so there's 1, 2, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 images, but they're 2 different pets entirely. So I'm not sure if that's intentional or if that was the plan originally, to have 2 entirely different looking pets, and one be primal and one be the regular pet, but they are reused pets. Both of them are, in fact. So that one's Volpitier, I think is what it's called at tier 5. It's a Spirit Shatter Shield pet. It's one of the early ones, the one after Trop Fox. But that's originally a Shatter Shield pet. And this one is a reskin and recoloring of the Earth kind of Groot-looking pet. You can kind of see it a little more clearly if I go back to the base one, which is right there. Looks very similar. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to label them as 1 and 2 because I don't know which one's primal versus regular. I'm just going to call this one, so 96 is going to be tier 5A. And I'm going to call 98 tier 4A. And 99 tier 3A. Whoops, got an extra letter in there. And 100 is tier 2A. And 104 is tier 1A. I'm just going to do them A and B because I don't know which one's which. We can go back to here. Whoops, I went too far. Oh, I renamed them. No wonder they're not showing up. I was like, where did they go? They were here just a second ago. I could have sworn. So there is 97, which is tier 5B. 101, tier 4B. 103, tier 3B. 105, tier 2B. And 108, tier 1B. Again, I don't know which is which, of course. I don't know which one's primal versus regular, I mean. But there's only the 2 types, so I'm assuming that must be what the plan is, but I don't know what they're going to use them for. All right. I'm just going to go with this one first, since we're already here. Tier 1, whoop, slow down there, Turbo. Try to put this right about there, and I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit to kind of line these up. Right about there. And again, this is a pet that's been used before. Both of them are. I don't know why they're using, rather than coming up with entirely new pets, maybe that's the route they're going to go. They're all going to have reskins. It's entirely possible. They have reskinned pets before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. There we go. Fits actually quite nicely. I was expecting it to kind of run up against that guy, but it doesn't get in the way, so that's good. So pet number 1. Again, I'm going to try to line these up fairly close to the one above. Get that lined up there too. Right about there. Trying to line them up top to bottom is a little harder than it might appear. These 2 pets are almost, even the original ones look almost identical. There's almost no difference between them. The full pet, like fully, like you can see the pet, you know, fully assembled and everything in the game, of course they do look vastly different. But in these two pictures, really the only difference is a slight bit of difference in the eyes and a slight bit of difference along this jawline. It's just slightly different. But you can see kind of like a little insignia there appearing on the shoulder plate. It isn't on this one. And then it really kind of fleshes out that shoulder plate more on this one. But these two are, like in the pictures, are virtually identical. Very, 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 very few things that are different about them. Anyway, that's that. So now let's do this. I'm going to go make a new box. Down here. Look about like so. Made that box too big, but that's okay. Doesn't need to be perfect. As I sit here and mess with the alignment of the word pets after I say that. Ah well. Okay, now we got to go to bosses. This is where I was afraid they might run into things, but they're actually not really that much in the way after all. Okay, kind of get you right about there, and you right about there. Get these again, try to get these lined up as close as I can. They're off center, but I'm going to get them where they need to be. That right about there. And I can move it centered below that thing above it. Right about there. Groovy. Now I need to put the elements on those guys, which is over here in my other window. So we have Spirit, which is... yeah, sorry, brain cramp. This is Spirit Fire. I want to get these roughly the same spot. So this is going to be 898. Try to get these in exactly the same position. And then space it out a little. There we go, much better. Then we have Fire, which is this dude here. It's kind of cool looking, almost mummy looking thing, sort of. That's why I had kind of that Egyptian sort of feel about it, the Egyptian vibe. It kind of looks like a mummy. And with it being Halloween, it's definitely on theme. Then we have this big, like, kind of rock monster dude that we've seen before, at least a couple times. That fire looks off-center to me, and it's going to bother me. I'm going to move it. There we go. There's our bosses. Make that one a little bigger. Just a little bigger, and I can kind of also center that one as well. Probably being a little too particular about this, but that's okay. Right there. Cool. Now, oh, I need to do the cape too. I didn't do the cape. Where you at, Dual Spirit? There you are. I'm going to edit you. I'm going to go down to the cape. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, there are actually two capes, so I'm only going to do the one that kind of, I don't know. That's a cool looking cape, but it does not match the, oh, this is the one that Hopper made. This is the custom that Hopper made. That the guy that won the design contest. This is the one that Hopper made. So this is the special one. So this one is actually the one I'm going to be using. Sorry, wrong one. This one right here. This is the one I'm actually going to be using, because the other one's the Player of the Month reward. So, Hopper, if you're watching, it looks cool. So this one right here is the one I'm going to use. Copy. Make a new layer behind this one. Oh, actually, no, before I do that, I need to resize you. Let's do 500 square. Make it a little easier on myself. Delete out the background. Move you down to here. Now make a layer behind it, drop it in place. So that kind of looks just like bat wings, which is cool, but it's also kind of strange. I'm trying to get this lined up in the middle of that back. That's about it. That's the cape. That's the regular cape. So you know what it looks like. Move you up to here again, right about there. How wide are we here? 313. No, actually not that far off square either. It's pretty cool, actually. It matches up nicely. Not really a good match for the armor per se, but still a cool looking cape in its own way. It's kind of a bummer that these capes don't kind of go in front. Like we've had these before where they don't go in front of the shield, like it kind of wraps around it. But it's okay. It is what it is. Alright, let's quickly save this as with cape. And then I gotta resize it to be about 275-ish, I think. Oops, wrong window. Drop you in here. I just don't want it to be so massive that it gets in the way of other things. We'll go back to here and grab that one right there, and we'll drop this one in. Like so. Actually, I am going to do the other one too. I'm going to do the other one too. Just so I have them both. Let's edit that one. But I'm going to put it behind a different armor, just for a change of pace. Wondering which one will go with that one nicely. Let's see here. Let's do it with that one. Oh, I didn't mean to open that one. I wanted to open up the other image. This one right here. Oops. Brain cramp. 3 people on. Sweet. Okay. So this one has kind of this halo-y sort of effect around the outside edge of it. I want to make sure that doesn't get lost. But this one right here, we're going to put behind this one. Make you, I'll do 500 again just to be safe. Again, I want to make myself as much room as possible. I think I missed a spot right there in the middle. I did. Okay. Move you down to here. Make a new layer and drop it back behind. That is pretty cool looking, I gotta say. Maybe not necessarily for this armor, but it's still a very cool looking cape. And there we are. Move that up to here so it does not get lost. A lot of this is kind of blend into the, it won't blend in, it'll kind of like be obscured somewhat by the black background that I eventually add into it, but it's still pretty cool though. 400 by, wow. Okay, let's make that actually a little more narrow. There we go. We're going to save you as that's cape as well. And we're going to resize 75. Whoops. Resize. There we go. That's a lot smaller than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. This is the other cape. Oops. Move. Goofy thing. I gotta move in, I gotta zoom in here a little bit and kind of ooch this up a little closer. That little avatar looking thing at the top, so it's not like right on top of it, but matches up nicely. Okay, back to here. Cape number 2. Drop that right next to here. Again, I gotta kind of get in here and move it up so it matches up with kind of the alignment a little better. There we go. Now we can put in our text box. Right down here. Oops, forgot I'm on the wrong color. I selected the color down there at the bottom on accident. There we go. Capes, plural. Not common to have more than one cape in a given month, but this month we have one. Okay, now all I have left is the chest and the key. Back up to here. Chest. I may also have to resize this because it's humongous. These are always so huge. Copy new, make a new sheet. And let's zoom in here. Actually, I can make this a lot smaller. Let's make it, hang on, gotta check my measurements. 250 by 285, okay. There we go. Now we can resize. Let's make you 225. Drop you down here and see how big you are. It's still massive. It can't even go that big. I gotta go smaller. Let's undo that resizing. Let's go down to 200. That's a little more manageable. Put you right here. Just don't want it overlapping the other stuff there. And I still don't want to make this whole sheet too big. But that's just going to have to be the case. Key. And box. There we go. I made that box way too big. Actually, I'll just scooch it over there to the left and resize the box. Fair enough. Go to about here. There we go. And I'll just delete the excess. Ta-da! Okay. Move you about there. That's about it. So, where are we at? Almost exactly the normal length. Hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours is almost exactly the normal length of live streams. Okay, let me double check and make sure I didn't forget any. Oh, other materials. Sorry, I almost forget the other materials. I need to actually move these three over to here. I'll put the other materials right here. Almost forgot. Have the other materials here for the event. One there. Whoops. One there. And one there. And I don't know what the plan is or anything else, just putting them in here so that you can see them. Actually, I'm going to put them all side by side. Am I going to be able to fit them in there? Just barely. Almost didn't have the room. I'm going to scooch you up closer too, so you're a little bit kind of in the same vicinity as the other one. Okay. Go like this. And I'll just put a little box below it. Whoops. Wrong button. Wrong click. Oh, I need to make this box a little bigger, so I need to put event materials. Actually, I'll do it this way. Okay. Try it again. This time with less failure. Okay. Text. Event materials. Box is too big again. Oops. Ah well. Can always resize. Okay, there we go. Now let's go back to here. Blonk, blonk, blonk. Now I just need to resize the whole thing. What's the lowest point here? 1260. 1260 it is. There we go. So we are done. So for anyone that's just tuning in or missed anything I said previously, this will be my last live stream doing the Datamine. I may still do them in the future, can't guarantee anything, whether I have the time or not, I don't know. But that's kind of where we're at now. So I just don't have the time really to devote like I used to, which means, as I said before, and I said this earlier on in the live stream, that the bots will no longer be updated, or at least with anything I'm making anyway. The line KnD bot will just stop being updated, period, because I'm the only one with access to it really anymore. The line, or the Discord bot, excuse me, might still get updated because more than just me has access to it, but it won't be any content I'm creating unless I still create the Datamine here and there, but that'll be it. So the wiki will stop getting updated. Discord and Reddit I've already handed off to someone else for the most part, so they'll be taking over when I leave those. But yeah, that's basically it. So one final time, here's my predictions. War, I gotta change that so I'm selecting something else. War, raid, gonna guess war. seasonal exclusive war, event, seasonal, I'm guessing, raid, event, fusion, seasonal. So that's that. So thanks everyone for joining in. One final personal note, I appreciate everything that everyone's done and said positive about me and to me about things I've done, and it's not that I don't appreciate it, trust me, I really do. I just can't find the time to really devote to this game anymore. And it's not the community for the most part. 95% plus of the people in the community are great people. There are, of course, bad apples everywhere, but they're not the reason I'm stopping. I'm just stopping because I simply don't have the time anymore. So thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend. And good luck in the Blitz War tomorrow. And that's me, Blando, signing off for most likely the final time. Have a good rest of your day, week, life. See ya.